You are making young people to travel from point A to point B to go and write JAM, especially in places like Benue, where you know that these places are like the center of insecurity. They are the hot zones right now. So why would you make children travel from point A that they are traveling overnight so that they can meet up with your exams? Can't we do something, come up with something that at least will help to secure the lives of the young children? Fumi this morning was telling me about how when she was on her way home yesterday, she got to a particular place and then she saw lots of people outside. And then she slowed down to actually get to understand what was going on there. And that's when she realized that children were writing jam and their parents were waiting for them outside the center. A lot of the parents just sat down there. Some of them sat down on the floor. Some of them, I said, I was not telling me, will you blame them? Even if it's you now, your daughter wants to write jam. Are you not going to allow only her to start? That is even within Lagos that we're talking about. That parents are following their children to go and write jam. So places like Benue, why are we having people traveling from A to point B just to go and write jam? Can we be serious? And then later now, jam will come out and start telling us, oh, there was glitch. We have to rewrite the exams again. Oh, results cannot come out. Oh, we had these are the lives of young people, for crying out loud. Go ahead, Cesar. Let's start with you on this.
Rose, it's quite unfortunate. I read that last night, and it gave me a lot of bad energy, because you see, I would not lie. I'm part of those people who wrote jam severally. I didn't write jam once before getting admission. And there's something I want to make clear. I think the era of social media and insecurity has further amplified it. Even during my time, if you do not buy jam form on time, they will end up throwing you to a very far
Mm-hmm.
place. A very far place, yes. But I think so you find people, which is why what is happening in Benue resonates deeply with me. Maybe these are children whose exams are 6 a.m. the next morning. So they needed to move to that place, look for a place to sleep so as to be able to wake up the next morning and go for their exams. Now, I am all for addressing issues. It has lingered for long. It did not start this year. It did not start 5 years ago. Can we begin to, you know, look at other ways? I mean, JAMB is a big body. Can they begin to look at ways to address this concern, considering the cost on parents? Do you know the trauma of every mother, every father whose child is leaving home? They are casting and binding and praying until that child goes and comes back in one piece. No matter the no matter the state in Nigeria, it's not even funny. It is not funny anywhere in Nigeria, not just Benue. The level of insecurity is very high. So I think JAMB needs to really coordinate themselves. If they need help, let them ask for help, for people to advise them. You don't need to keep collecting money until you cannot manage the number of students who are writing these exams. Do you know the cost of traveling to that place, getting accommodation in a strange place? In with the level of insecurity, you said it, exposing, the exam centers and what have you. With the level of insecurity, we do not need any. Are you bringing security officials to each of these jam centers scattered all over? And then if it is CBT, it only means that even from the confines of my house, I can write my exam. Once it is my time, I log in, write my exam. Once it is time for you to cut, you cut it. Can we begin to think outside the box? How do we begin to address some of these challenges that we are imposing on parents? They pay all this money. Once you get the maximum you need, please stop. Why throw people from Lagos State to Ogun State, from this state to this state, from this part of, very far distances? It's traumatizing. I would not lie to you. And that is why you see some parents are saying, no, instead of all of this, let me go and sell even my inheritance. Let my child go to a private university because I can't deal. It didn't start now. It didn't just start now. It's just that insecurity is amplifying it. A lot of issues are happening. Someone who is just seeking admission, you kidnap, you are asking for ransom. If people even say, well, after secondary school, just go and learn handwork. I can't deal with this wahala of going for jam. Will you blame them, Rose? Will you blame them? An average Nigerian mom who has 5 children selling by the roadside, just struggling to make ends meet, and you kidnap her child. What are we doing to address these challenges? And that is why you find out that even when core members are passing out, it is done on a low key, except now them decide to go Facebook and all this thing, they do paparazzi. It is strictly low key because nobody wants problem. We don't want to hear stories that touch. Can JAM begin to address some of the gaps that are causing these things? We call it CBT. Yet, the timing is not proper. It, we know that our exams do not even start at the time we have allotted for it. And so that was why Fumi will be going, and people, maybe last year we just addressed where then they use touch and everything, they write the same exam. If they were writing it during the daytime, will they need touch and everything? Please. And JAMB, just like the health sector and many sectors in Nigeria, needs an emergency. We cannot keep, every year. I mean, it becomes a cliche that every time we are just, instead of speaking to issues, progress, and all of that, trying to see how we improve our STEM system, we are still talking of insecurity to write exams, to go into these schools. My dear sister, JAMB needs help, and it is an emergency. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Susan. I, I, I don't know. It's just one kind when you hear of this kind of things happening. Like, are we not even supposed to have gone past some of these kinds of issues? Like you said, we're supposed to be talking about, something progressive. But here we are, this same jam, year in, year out. All right, this is your Women Radio WFM 91.7, and it's about 23 minutes past 9 right here on Women Radio. And this is the program HerLens, where we discuss, dissect, and disagree on topical issues. All right, and of course, today we're looking at the young students who were kidnapped, on their way from between Makodi and Otupo to write their JAM exam on. This happened on Wednesday night for Thursday. All right, so they were kidnapped, and it has just brought a lot of issues back to us again. When we're looking at what has happened, we're looking at the insecurity we're facing, and some of the measures that JAM would have taken to at least be able to save lives and not open people or put them in a position that they could be kidnapped. Because tell me why I would have to be on the road in Benway that is not safe around 8 p.m. Ah, how about now? All right, Binabo, let's hear from you. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today.
Okay, good morning, Lady Rose. Good morning, Lady Susan. As always, I'm dealing with network, but I know that just like every other issue in Nigeria, we shall overcome. If we don't stop talking, if we don't keep silent, if we keep talking about it, someday somebody will hear us and will do the needful. Good morning to all our valued listeners. You don't want to be in the shoes of the parents of those children. It is scary. It is something you want to imagine. And this particular discourse has brought, or should I say, opened wounds for some people. You see, Nigeria is seriously under attack, especially the middle belt. Now, the show no longer is of Northwest banditry. We have more frequent, smaller abductions across multiple locations, just like we have now. We can label these school kidnappings, but they affect a particular demography. They used to go into schools and pack them, abduct them, release some will die, and all of that. Me, I'm particular about the Nigerian child. Why can't the government of Nigeria sit down deliberately, intentionally, and look at how to secure the Nigerian child? The Nigerian child at home does not eat well, let alone having a complete square meal. The Nigerian child will have to struggle to go to primary school. You will have to struggle to go to secondary school. You have to struggle to go to university. And you think that when you put a child through so much struggle, this child will come out being empathetic? Are we dreaming? Are we just hallucinating? You don't, what you see, what about you show what you read? You people who are youths who don't give a damn, they don't care. Where do you think this came from? You have made life so unbearable for them. Children have become adults overnight. Imagine a child that ordinarily wouldn't even be able to travel from one village to the other within the state, is now having to travel outside of the state to another place to sit for examination. I'm looking at all that has been happening. Let us look at to date. Do you know that over 2,000 children were abducted and not all were rescued? Some have died, some are still in captivity. I'm not talking about the Dapchi and Chibok girls. I'm talking about from 2020 till date. Shouldn't our leaders be worried? Shouldn't everything they're going to do make sure that at no point in time do they put the lives of our children under, they don't put them under the bus to be crushed? Is life all about money making? Because that is the forte of JAM. Oh, now that we are here, we are making, they will come and tell us how much they made for the government. Please talk about how much you are frustrating parents. Talk about how you are making life a hard knock one for an average Nigerian child. Talk about the frustration you put a child through because the child wants to go and sit for examination. For goodness sake, when a child wants to go and sit for an examination, do you know the state of mind that child should be in? You are going to sit for an examination. You are ready, you are not calm. You are agitated. You are anxious. You're not focused. You are apprehensive of your safety. How do you pass? How do you pass your examination? We should ask ourselves salient questions. A child that will travel from one state to the other is already afraid of the stories around that they are kidnapping. Why do you think they traveled in the night? Because they cannot afford to pay for a hotel. Oh my goodness, these children are going to sleep somewhere in the street and wait for the next morning to sit for their examination. What are we thinking in this country? Why are we so selfish? And if you talk, some people will come out and say that you are speaking against the government. If I have friends and I'm not hearing that, I don't talk like a bad friend. Because we all know how we run our businesses. We don't run our businesses down. We run them to make profits. So when a leader, for example, the Professor Oloyede of JAM, of UTME, can somebody just sit with him and other board members and look at how to, temper down, calm down this one they are putting in our children. The other time, so some years back, data was posted from Lagos. We didn't buy the form late. We were the early bird to buy the form. And it was posted to Ibadan. And I felt okay, but it's not far. So if we, leaving home early, 1 hour plus, we are there. That was a tall dream for us in a country that is saddled with too much traffic. We were locked down somewhere between Lagos and Ibadan, and we could not make it to the place on time. By the time we got, imagine my daughter and how she felt in the vehicle. I had to start calming her down, telling her, don't worry. Even if you miss this one, you will sit for another one next year. As I started promises, even if they post you to Ghana, you will travel there and go and spend 2 days so that you will not be under pressure. Can you imagine a mother who was already pressured, but I had to calm her down? Towards whoever is in charge of them. I felt so irritated. I felt angry. It's like I should see them and spit. You sit and we weren't the only people. There were other people who were coming from different places, and some of them, my child got to the center late. Imagine how will she fare in the examination? Somebody was supposed to be at the examination hall, calm, cool, focused, and everything, was already sweating as if somebody just opened the hottest part of whatever. And while the examination was done, we were leaving, some children were coming, wailing, crying, rolling on the ground. Why do we do this? Some people will travel. I had a friend who was doing well in Nigeria. She sold some of her things, she and her husband, and they moved abroad. I said, what's your posture? She said, I can no longer stand this pressure this country is imposing on me family. There is insecurity everywhere, but insecurity get level. That was what she said. She said she would be coming in and going out to check her business, and her husband the same thing. But children they will not keep. So what are we talking? Every story of kidnap is being reported in the news or maybe to social media. Do you know that we can't even leave our homes to go and carry out our daily activities?
Yeah.
Families where they will kidnap somebody and they will quietly and calmly pay the ransom and then quietly go inside their houses and take care of whatever it is. Communities are not safe. Because I don't even talk about what JAMB is doing because Susan. So why happened that? But the truth of the matter is, what are we doing as a nation, as parents? I remember last year or 2 years ago when WAEC messed up, or was it WAEC or JAMB? Parents were agitated and they cried out. A girl committed suicide because she didn't make the right and so many like that because there was a mess up in the way they collected the result. How can we be living like this? It is frustrating, it is annoying. And you cannot talk. If you talk, they will say you are attacking the government. But they are attacking the government in their closets. Hypocrites. A country where we have too many hypocrites. If you have a friend and your friend believes he or she is doing well, and you know that your friend is not doing well, as a good friend, you mention it to your friend. That is what makes a friend a good friend. Not Omo Yawusa, like Yorubas would call it. You know who they call Omo Yawusa? Siblings who will go inside to have a meeting and they come out smiling, whereas the problem is not solved. They are deceiving themselves. People will say, "Why are you picking on?" Nobody's picking on anybody. Every agency has a boss. The boss of this particular topic is Professor Oloyede. And I'm telling Professor Oloyede that JAMB is not all about money making. You have to factor in security of lives of the children that are supposed to do this JAMB. Because that money you want to make for JAMB, Every parent will say, 1 year will not kill my child. Nobody will buy the phone. Everybody will sit down for house. You will pay for jam in this harsh economy. You will pay for jam. You will not pay for a transport fare to travel from one state to the other. You now look for money to feed there. You now look for money to accommodate yourself. I mean, on top of how much? 70,000 naira minimum wage. Are we kidding us? This is the height of insensitivity. This is the height of not feeling, not having the milk of humanity. You post students, students to dangerous states, problem infested states. And then later on, they will say, well, when they come out to complain, you say they are speaking against the government. I don't have anything against the government except good leadership. Give us good leadership. Give us security. Because it takes a person who is alive to enjoy whatever it is, whatever policy will bring good life later. Those who are dead, they are dead and gone. There's no second shot to life. Once you're dead, you are gone. Your story is ended. Now we have heard that they have kidnapped these children. What are they going through? They will have girls among them. Girl, when they never kidnap down the street, they are harassing and abusing her sexually, let alone a child who is in captivity. What is our fate? If we begin to put into people's shoes and feel people's hurts, people's pains, I think we will do better. All this burying our head in the sand like an ostrich, or all this sitting on the street and think nothing concerns us. One day it will concern you. One day, some of this splashing of water, you go touch your clothes, and you go be your white clothes, and it go be muddy water. And you will know what it means to get your clothes stained. It's unfortunate. We seem to be under siege, and we are expected to be working on eggshells. We are constantly at the mercy of armed groups. You don't know what's going to happen there. Sometimes when I'm driving down and there is some sort of gridlock, it's like, what is going on? No information. I need to look for stations where they talk about traffic or whatever to know what is going on. Because sometimes you don't know whether it is armed robbers that have blocked the road and are robbing vehicles and people in the vehicle one by one. And there will be no help on time until they have left. Even our security operatives are of our parents. Need the intervention of our leaders. No one person can do it. That is why inflation is coming again. And they come, there is nobody that will come and promise you that don't worry, vote for me, I'll make your life unbearable. Nobody will say it. They will come and make all the sweetest promises, flowery words. And then what do we get? The next thing we hear is, Nigeria has been like this since 100 years now. So what? So people say, oh, Shabo Lela, me say me bo she ba me. If you cannot rescue me from this, my wahala, leave me the way I am. It's very disheartening. Rose, there was a day we went for me and one of my daughters went for something, a document, and we missed each other. She was a teenager. She was 13, and I couldn't find her. Almost, I was very mad. Do you know that I was crossing the highway without checking? I was going to go to the other side. I crossed the highway. I didn't even check. Vehicles were stopping like I was a man. My daughter, where is she? This until we found out. She went to another building looking for me, and we missed each other. Now imagine a mother who knows that our son or daughter was traveling at that time to go and prepare for JAMB, and now that child has been. You have killed that woman now. She's dead already. Must it be your time before you feel it? Rose, Communities remain at the mercy of criminals, despite repeated assurances. Shana like this we go the day. Shana like this we go the day. The question remains with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gina. But that your question, eh? That really big question. That's not what they do. Eh? Every year, jam will come, and every parent that knows that his or her child needs to write jam will start to dey fear because of jam again. How about now? We ought to do better. Can't we not use 1 week to write jam if that is the case? If students are too much and the centers are very limited, we can use 1 week to write jam, Nabi, in the same city or in the same vicinity where you are. So what's the need of telling somebody to travel from from um from the city, from his or her city to another place just to go and write jam? And we've turned it to CBT, and there are so many CBT centers. So can't these things be written in town? Even if we were to take 5 days or 2 weeks to write jam, why can't we? It's just unfortunate that we find ourselves in this kind of situation, and I just hope that we're able to do better. All the leaders of jam, the whole examination board should do better, please. It's not, uh, I don't know. It's just unfortunate. All right, this is your Women Radio WFM 91.7, and this is the program HerLens. So we discuss that and disagree on topical issues. And of course, right here we're looking at the issue of jam, but we will definitely move on from this. Okay, so hopefully we get to do better. All right, so now let's look at another issue right here. And this one is about a I don't know if probably to laugh on this one or what, but it just brought a lot of things to mind. Now, a businesswoman threatened to disown her own children, and why did she threaten to disown her own children? Because the husband got married to another woman, and her children are giving that woman so much attention, and all. So a backstory is that this woman, her husband live in Abuja, but her frozen business is in Ilorin and is thriving. Now she tried to open a branch in Abuja, but it did not just catch head. It failed. The thing did not just work out like the way it was working in Ilorin. So now, so she kept her time, and everything is just divided, going from going to Ilorin, Abuja, Ilorin, back Abuja, Ilorin. So her whole energy, presence and all of that, was in Ilorin because that's where her business is and is thriving. So her husband kept complaining that she's never home, and all of that. And she would just say, "Oh, okay, don't worry, things will get better." And then before you know it, she's going back to Ilorin. Before you should know it, she's going back to Ilorin. So there was no time where she probably took time to stay or maybe work out something to balance it all. Now the man kept enduring and enduring and enduring until he stopped enduring, and then he got himself another wife. Now, this wife that he has gotten himself, okay, although I think he's about to marry the second one. Now, this second one came in, she saw the opportunity and is trying to get the attention of all of the family members. So now, and the children now are not, leaning towards this new wife. And now she's saying she's going to disown her children. So if you now walk quickly, please kindly look at this and let me have your thoughts on this particular story, because this actually gets to affect a lot of families.
Okay, what do I say? Because we live in a patriarchal society. If it was the man who had a business he had to keep
Mm,
running to every now and then, nobody says anything. You, the wife, will sit quietly and wait for whenever he comes around. And in most cases, this man will have another woman, whether officially or unofficially, in that other business base. And
yeah.
heaven, heaven will not fall. You see, as much as you know, I believe that there has to be close contact between us on a regular basis. When it is business, because you have some time to work these things out. If you get to a point, you become fragile, you become feeble, you are old, you cannot run up and down. And what have you put in place to take care of your future? So you see, in most cases, when the business, even if it is a job, didn't we discuss a family here when the husband said the wife should resign from abroad and come and stay in Nigeria with him?
Yep.
And we have stories where the lady actually left abroad and came to stay in Nigeria with him and started misbehaving because he felt that now he captured her. So you see, for the children, you know, I don't know their age bracket, but I want to say that, you see, children are very impressionable. When somebody, mom is always traveling, and you don't know what daddy says in the ear of the children. You know, every time they blame the woman, woman's always discouraging her children from doing what for the man, this and that. But men do it a lot. They complain in the presence of the children. When you keep complaining and complaining and complaining, and mommy's lifestyle is beginning to look like what daddy is saying, even though it is not really true. The children will believe because they love both parents. And then here comes a woman who wants to come and impress everybody. So she will go out of her ways to impress the children, impress the husband, because she knows she's coming to compete with a successful businesswoman. So she will do everything to win everybody over to her side. Well, what do I say? If your marriage is worth saving, if you need to throw away your business, dump it in the ocean and come and sit with your husband, it is your choice. I'm not going to advise anybody on that. And if you feel that, my future must be secured, these children that are not, that you want to disown today, tomorrow they will grow up and out of the house and they'll have their own families. And when you go to them for help, they'll tell you, mommy, you know, my wife did this, you know, my husband is this. And they will think, which child can do everything for you? So it is your prerogative. You weigh your options. Weigh your options. If your business is international, and you are making so much money, and you have sat down with your husband to look at how best to salvage the situation, and it's been unreasonable, what do you want? I can't advise you on that, but I will tell you so the chances on the scale. How do you rate everything? The one that has the highest percentage, please grab it and hold on to it, because I cannot come and give you money when you are old, because this is about the growth once more. All of us are trying to look at our future and make sure that we don't end up being helpless in certain age and begin to look for what. So, but the bottom line is, all those are excuses. Those are excuses. In most cases in this country, let me not go to other places, men have jobs outside of their places of residence, and they go and do this job, and they are there. All they do is send food money, chop money to the wife, and the wife cannot complain. She cannot complain. If she complains, they'll say, hey, you don't want him to succeed. Are you trying to succeed? They will even call her a witch. So you see, in life, you have to weigh your chances. If you feel your national business will give you more joy than what this man's agitating for, hold on to your business. If you feel that, this business is not big enough for me to throw my family away, throw the business away and hold on to your family. But what I would say in wrapping up is that men should always be considerate. How much sacrifice shall your wife make for you to be happy? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ibinabo, for your thoughts on this morning. That's why, when I started, I said, this one, I didn't even know that to laugh or, it just sounds a bit funny. But because at the end of the day, saying a man, they do all of these ones now. We're not going to see all this story. We're not going to say she don't go find second husband marry. But then again, like I said, it's about balance. All right, Susan, let's get to hear from you before we wrap it up.
I just want to add, Mami Binabo has said it, I'm not married. Let me put a disclaimer forward before they will come for my head. But I read through the story. I also read the efforts of the man, according to whoever narrated it. I totally agree to the fact that if it was a woman, and that just tells you how women cope, how we tolerate, how we nurture how we sacrifice our time, our feelings, and our emotions, even when men don't live within the country for years. Yes, there are women who might cheat or whatever, but majority of the women also keep themselves, they keep toiling to make ends meet. And now it's the man. The man complained. He complained about her absence and everything. In the civil society space, there's what we call, even generally, there's what we call work-life balance. You would not do your business at the detriment of your family. You would not do your business at the detriment of your family. So you also need, you know, to find a way to balance out. Your family should not be suffering. And for the children to even tilt towards their dad. This is me just trying to be fair and, not biased in any way. For the children to be tilting towards their dad, your absence is felt deeply. That's the truth. Because if not, you will see that there might even be a divide. You don't need to disown them. Whether you disown them or not, biologically, they are your children. That's the truth. Even if you decide to disown them. Now, how have you been able to carry your family along? How have they been able to feel your presence? Are you just about, because it was written there, are you just about the party and the money? Because we also know that there are women, oh, Amber, is happening here today, is happening here. Well, that is good. We encourage women to make their own money, but let your family not suffer for it. From the story, it's saying that it is because he has tried severally. That was why he needed the presence of a woman, and that was why he had to get a wife. And it is also a clarion call for women. All of you that are suffering and smiling, bottling up when you need to open up. Your emotions are valid. Your needs are valid. You don't need to hide under virtuous woman, Proverbs 31 woman to be, carrying bodies that are beyond you. When it is overwhelming, you speak out. The man now seeks to get a lot of sympathy because the story is saying he tried, but you were not available. Are you emotionally available to your children, to your family? How do you balance it? You can't just leave, even if it's a man. And that is why women should know the level at which we take too much. We are not deputy Jesus. You cannot be absorbing everything. Oh, let me keep my home. Let me this. Your needs. You are not speaking to it. Everything is happening. You are not. You are even the one carrying all the bukata on your head. It will not still make a man that will live not to live. So when you need to express yourself, express yourself. For the woman in question, it lies in your hands. If you want to stay with your family, I mean, we were not there when the whole story started. And this is for other people. So many people are struggling with different challenges in their homes. So I think it's time we start speaking up. It's time we start asking the relevant questions because trust me, more women are suffering in this kind of situation than our men. But do our women come out to speak?
All
No.
right, thank you too,
There are
Susan. Thank
Proverbs
you so
31
much for
women.
your thoughts on
At the end
this.
of
And
the
this is
day,
where we wrap
you
it up
need to find a
here.
way
At
to
the end of the
balance
day, it's
your
about
family,
balance
your
because
business, and your
if
social
your
circle.
children,
Thank you.
at the end of the day, will be affected by this, I think, we can always find a way to work it out. A lot of women have had businesses in different places and their families still worked out. So, how do you balance it all? So let's know all of this because in as much as you are chasing after the money, you are chasing after all of these things, your children too need your attention as much as your business does, if not more than your business does. Because at the end of the day, you don't want them to grow up tomorrow and become something else that you can't even recognize. And nobody will see your footprints on your children. I think it's not, it's just to find a balance, along that line, because your family doesn't have to suffer because you have a business, and your business doesn't also have to suffer because your family won't give you the chance to do it. So sit down, draw up something that could work out for you and your family, and trust me, both can actually flourish. But although from time to time, one of the parties will be suffering, not the business or the family. But then again, it's about balance. All right, so thank you very much, Ibinabo and Susan, for this week, and of course for being on the program today. I wish you all a great weekend ahead. Let's meet up on Monday, God's willing, for the fresh episode of HerLens. So thank you so much, ladies, for being here this week. All right, and to each and every one of you who tuned in to listen to HerLens, do well to have a great weekend, and let's meet up again on Monday. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser. Do well to stay tuned to Women Radio WFM 91.7. Good morning.
Put on your church shoes, little sister, because we're about to blast off.
What is it you're trying to say? It's time to